Okay, no, I don't. Perfect. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Are we live? Okay, I think we're live. Let's see. Studio. All right. Hello, good people. I am so excited today. This is a good day in the Dumbphone world. We are about to see one of the, what's it called? Like when people call it like a generational run. Something along those lines. It's going to be so exciting. I'm really excited. Yeah, really excited about this. And so we have a live stream. Let me make sure that to discuss some of these things. Okay, let me put it here. The Dumbphone live stream is happening. There you go. Let me put one more place. All right. Hello, hello, hello. Make sure to put your questions in the comments. The Dumbphone live stream 2026 April. Boom. What's up? Awesome. So, hello, good people. Today we have very, very big announcements. Honestly, what's happening in the Dumbphone world is going to change from now on, in my opinion, because we finally have the interaction of the smart world with the Dumbphone world with the latest announcement from Light. Just came out about probably 30 minutes ago. I was in a meeting, my final meeting for the day. So I started working really early today. So just FYI. And I'm really excited to showcase this because I have known about this for a little while now. And I'm really excited about the possibilities. I think this is going to be a game changer for a lot of people. A lot of people who are looking into creating tools and applications for the Light phone. So this has been like 6 years in the making, essentially. Long time ago, they said that this was going to happen. This is like early Light phone 2, but it's finally here. And I'm really excited that people have waited, people have figured out, people are doing all of these things. So if you remember, what is a developer program? So essentially, the developer program will allow people to create a library of tools that is curated, non-commercial, and open source of user-created tools that expand the utility of the device without compromising the Light mission to create technology that doesn't want your constant attention. So this means that while you could create an email client, that doesn't mean that they're going to put it in in the tool library for everybody to use. This is essentially for developers, for people who want to make the device better, maybe less friction, heavy. So for example, we're talking about essentially Signal, two-factor authentication, and they have acknowledged, we've seen what different users have already been working on, and it's very inspiring to witness. We also heard the feedback from those who would love to take advantage of custom tools without hacking or modifying their phone. So this is them listening to the community and saying, okay, we're going to do it, but we're going to do it our way, right? We want you to use these things. We want you to allow them. So community created, non-commercial, open source. I think all of those things are the best part of this announcement, is that this is not for you to make money. This is for you to help people, actually go with their Light phone, experience the Light phone a little bit more often, right? So here we have design elements will be available. We have push notification support, media access, emulator support, to test. This is the open call right here. We're in essentially May. And then in June, the SDK will be ready. So there'll be some onboarding. The SDK will be ready to build and test with developer program, vetting the submitted tools sometime in August to September. And then they're launching the tool library September, October. So if you want to join, go check the developer program out and put your name, put your email. What are you interested in working on? And what do you want to participate in? So again, they're going to provide a little bit you don't have to have a Light phone to participate, but hey, why not buy one? So if you've been thinking about buying a Light phone for the longest time right now, this is the best time to buy a light phone, because from now until September, people are going to be working on it nonstop. I know of so many tools already that are light compliant, if you will, that are going to be working on this. So yeah, if you have been thinking, being on the fence about a light phone, this is your opportunity. So 1000%, this is going to be the best opportunity that you will have. I told you, what is it, 3 years ago now, when the Light Phone 3 pre-order came, or 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago now. Hey, like, don't miss this chance. $399. It's going to be the best device that you buy. It's going to be a steal at that price, right? Like, and I said that, and I stand by it. Now it's getting even better. So the value proposition, if you got the device for $399 back in the day, oh gosh, like, like this is amazing. If you got the device, I don't know, like if you got the device to, I don't know, a year ago, and you paid a little bit more, it's still going to be great. Now you're getting it at retail price. Yes, it's a little bit of a tough pill to swallow, and I agree with that. Like I'm cognizant that dropping money on this device is going to be a financial commitment. But if you're interested, this is the best time to buy a light phone. Buy it now so that you have it whenever this year in September. Yeah. And if you want to support the channel, I'll put a link in the description and also in the chat. But this is the best time. I can show you already like some of the things. So they called out Van Damme. Van Damme is an excellent developer, by the way. So he has been making a few tools that are light-esque compliant, and these are going to be coming into the development, right? Like, so as you see, he has created so many things already. So for example, he created Luma, which is a different launcher. This will probably not be needed anymore, because now we'll have access to everything without issues. You have Passes, which is essentially a library for QR codes, right? Like, so you add a pass, movie ticket, right there. You have the movie ticket. He already created Weather, which is also very light compliant, as you see right here, with the just design, the sign mode right there. Now we have Weather. Ikko is probably not going to happen anytime soon, just due to the fact that you also have to have the Spotify app inside, and you have to log in. That's the only way to make it work. So unfortunately, this is not going to happen anytime soon. At least it's going to take a little bit of time, for these things to happen, right? But yes, so this is just like not probably, but people are going to try to figure it out, right? So that's one of the things, right? So people are going to try to figure it out, how to bring these non-distracting tools to a device that, wants it, needs it, etc. So you have timetables in development right there. This is for buses and trains. As you know, the experience right now on buses and trains, this is only for the UK as of right now. But honestly, this is great, because I will be joining the developer program, hopefully soon. And I'm going to be creating my own bus app for the Denver area, because right now it's tough. Like, like using the light phone for buses is a little bit tough with transit. So I'm going to create something that is dedicated for transit, et cetera, et cetera. So this is Inbox. He also, I think he's probably, this is more for WhatsApp, it seems, or Apple iMessage. So he's going to try to bring that into the mix. So if you were concerned about all of these things, like, hey, can I really live a simple life with a light phone, with, all of these things, because I need 2FA, I need yada, 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 etc. Be concerned no more. This is the update that we were waiting for a long time on it. There's also some other Reddit posts. So here is, community develop apps, metronome, strings, topographic maps, light GPS logger for those of you that care about that, dictionary. This are other, kind of like other things. Yeah, again, it's one of those things that the community already wants some of these niche things to be happening. But I just want you to remember, right? The whole idea here is that they receive the feedback, they're acting on it, but the light library will only allow apps that are vetted through, non-compromising the light mission. So again, for the majority of our users, this means that in addition to our light tools, you can also browse a collection of vetted user created tools. Installation is seamless from the dashboard. Now, you can become a developer if you just want to load whatever you want in your phone. That is no problem. I guess we'll have tons of developers in the developer library for the light phone, right? Which is fine. But if you want to create, if you want to help others, if you are intending to use these tools, they're going to be vetted so that they are non-distracting for the device. And I think this is the biggest announcement that has happened in the Dumbphone world, because we have entered a friction point in the Dumbphone community where RCS is a pain in the butt. So here we have, let me show you RCS Reddit Dumbphones. Let's go here. Let's go here, and then let's just look for RCS. Utterly and completely demoralized about RCS. RCS is messing everything with me. You will be removed from all RCS if RCS is not turned back on within 30 days. What actually happens after 30 days? I mean, like, people are asking, like, what is actually going on here? Can confirm that RCS Super started working after 30 days, sometimes. Removing yourself from all Google RCS chats, Google RCS alternative, managing friendships and social needs. Has anyone solved the RCS problem? Any solutions to the Dumbphone RCS problem? These are issues, right, that a lot of the community has, because we have a certain segment of phones that are available for people that have all of the apps that they need, but they don't have every app that they need. This essentially solves that by creating intentionally vetted apps that do have some sort of messaging communication. So it may not be RCS, just due to the fact that Google is a monopoly and has been doing really crazy things lately. So let's just leave that aside, right? But putting that aside, now we have a trusted, vetted way to get tools that are non-distracting for a phone that was meant to be non-distracting. So this is huge. This is massive. And if you were thinking about going light more often with tools that are designed to not be distracting, and if you're a developer and you want to help people in this department, this is it. Like, literally, this is massive for a lot of people, because now we'll be able to create different applications that allow people to go light more often, that do not impact their everyday life, and that allow them to truly embrace a Dumbphone life without any compromise. So this puts a lot of competition. It's going to put a lot of competition into other manufacturers, and I'm really excited about that personally, because I think this creates the idea that, hey, it's not about side loading. It's about creating intentional tools. So for example, let's go to Van Damme's no scrolling page. He created the passes, right? So right now, he created a way to get passes on the light phone, right? Via essentially his application outside of the light OS. And whenever you have it, you are going to be able to use this, right? But it's non-distracting. It's text-based. It's non-icon based. It's not color based. It's just simple. Same thing with current location for weather. So you have the weather, very simple, very easy to use. Same thing for all of the other things, right? So I think that this is a major development in the Dumbphone world, because it allows us to create the apps that most people need. Let me lower this a little bit. It allows us to create the apps that most people need without creating a UI that is distracting. A lot of people, myself included, have always said this, like, you either have to have the technology e-ink, right? So you have something like the minimal phone or the Mudita compact. I'm going to go minimal phone right now because they showcase the apps on their screen. So it looks like this, right? It's the Kindle app just on an e-ink screen, is the Uber app just on an e-ink screen. So the experience is not really made to be minimal. It's made to be just an emulation, a simulation that this is good enough, right? So here you have all of the applications. I mean, you see Discord, PayPal, Microsoft Teams, Coinbase, right? So you can have everything that you want. It's just going to be a sucky experience because it's not meant to be non-distracting. So in this case in specific, It's a good solution because it's the only thing that was available before. But with the SDK for the light phone, now you're getting the tools. Developers will get the tools to have the design elements library, right? So we're designing with intention and non-distraction at the core of the device. And I personally think that's amazing. I think that that's what was missing in this whole conversation. And I think a lot of people are going to be happy about it. We have other news, we have other things. So, this is not the only thing that I'm going to be talking about today. Make sure to put your questions in the comments so that I'll be in the live chat. So, I'll be able to answer them. But this is a major announcement. And I've spent about 15 minutes so far talking about it because it creates a new style of non-exploitative applications. I think that that's the most important part. These applications will be vetted through a set of principles. They will be allowed on this open source, kind of like idea that you'll be able to have. And I think that's big. Having a new design, new UI, UX, library of application components that essentially allow people to live their lives without distraction and still have the utilities that they need. This is a massive win for the Dumbphone community. It's a massive win for everyday people that were looking for a solution. And it's a massive win for the light phone. I mean, let's be clear. As a company, they have to make money. They have understood that there are some intrinsic limitations of the device as it is, right? So as it is, the device is not perfect. And they kind of like acknowledge that. Like, they're saying, we've seen other users already been working on. It's very inspiring. We also heard feedback. They look to take advantage of custom tools without hacking or modifying the phone. They have seen that, modified light phones, right? So this was born out of the community, and has about 733 people that are like, hey, they're talking about it. Chat scores, anyone in the US, right? Like, they're doing just a few more different tools, e-reader, like different music tool. They're talking about it, et cetera, right? So they're saying, hey, we want this, but right now it's not allowed. But now it is. So, now people have the ability. There's some discussion about it, right? About, what's happening here. Dope signed up. Amazing news. I'm curious what Light will say about AI and how these apps are recorded and maintained. This is very important, actually. Yeah, will they allow AI? So like, are we going to allow AI agents or, that kind of stuff like that? Very, very important to see what is allowed and what is not. I personally don't want any AI tools. I don't want to see ChatGPT in the tool library. If you want to create it for yourself and use it for yourself, go ahead. That's fine. But that is not going to make it in the tool library, in my opinion, because AI is, number one, doom loops. Like, it has essentially infinite feed. It's an infinite feed because you're asking constantly, with tasks and all of that. So you have infinite feeds. And that's a problem, right? Like, that's an issue. But I hope that they go through the vetting of like, hey, who we allow as a developer, who we don't allow, et cetera, et cetera. I do love that it's non-commercial. I think this also self-selects people that will be putting exploitative technology into the device because it's like, oh, it's non-commercial. I cannot make money. Why am I going to work on this hobby project, right? Not important to me. But the people that actually want to work on it are people that are like, hey, I'm not only making my life better, but I'm making the life of other people's better. Like, so it's open source, non-commercial, it's curated. I think it's amazing. I think it's a great thing. It's a great step. A small step for the light phone, a great step for dumb phones. So yeah. So one of those things. Yeah. So super excited, super happy. Let's get to some questions about this in specific. And yeah, let's continue chatting. So it says, do you know anything on the Signal tool and how it will work? So what I know is that Joe and the team have been working with Molly Signal app. So Molly is a improved Signal app, fully open source, encrypted, multi-device, material, unified push. It has all of the features, right? So because it is fully open source, you can see the code base here, and you can get it on, F-Droid. So essentially, it's a good idea that they're working with a third-party client for Signal. So essentially, what somebody is going to have to do is simple: is grab the code for Molly, because it's open source, right? Learn from it, right? Understand it, and then create the new UI for the light phone. Now, I know that they themselves are looking into this, so they themselves are also doing this, and they share that in the update. If I look up Signal, there it is. We are using these same tools to build our own Signal tool. So they are building this in specific. So they have made great progress and cannot wait to share more details about that soon. I know that they have been working on this for a long time, and I mean, I think I would say by the summer you'll see a Signal tool, most likely. So maybe a little bit later, there's a lot of kinks and things and encryption and, making sure that it works and that everything is optimized. But by the most part, I would say that the Signal tool will come sooner rather than later. So yeah. Okay. Papita says, watching live stream in Times Square. Love your efforts. Have you heard of the channel Truthless? His approaches to curbing phone. Oh, no, I haven't. Let's check it out just real quick. Truthless. 1.2 million subscribers. All right. Good stuff. It says, replacing your phone is easy when it feels punk. Okay. We'll watch this sometime later. Interesting. Brain on AI. Yeah, he seems to have pretty good videos. I'll check it out. Thank you. Thank you for that recommendation. Next question. Not related to light phone, but it says, my friend just sold me his Hit K1 for only $200. I'm stoked. Was it a good buy? I think so. I mean, yeah, for $200 it's a pretty good buy. It's a good device. It needs a lot of development, and hopefully we'll see some of that coming up soon. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. Just an FYI. But yeah, so there are no more questions about this. That's fine. Maybe there'll be questions later. So if you have questions and you're watching this as a replay, no problem. Drop it in the comments. I'll be answering as many as I can. Cool. So Light Developer Program is available. I'm going to put the link in the live chat so you can go check it out and sign up. Get as much information as you need from this because it is quite important. It's quite important that we get more people signed up for this, and that allows people to start signing up, creating, some of these details, etc., etc. Okay, let's do 0, 0, 0 intro. 0, 2 minutes, light phone SDK developer program. And then at 23 minutes, we're going to move to Sunbeam, which also have a lot of exciting updates. So let's see it. Cool. All right, let's go to the Sunbeam updates. They have updated their website a little bit to kind of like look into the models. And as you see right here, there are different updates depending on the models. So they have a lot of models just because they have different configurations and whatnot. So you can look at the one that you kind of need. And they did updated software on the Pro Horizon, Sync Connect, Sync, Sound Recorder, Number Link. This was just released yesterday. Added notification syncing, navigation, March 23, new map themes, default map zoom, messaging. So there have been a lot of improvements, but the main one, where's my Sunbeam? Oh, right here. The main one that happened and that I'm really excited about is the update of transit. So recently they did an update on their maps application. I think I'm out of battery on this one, so I'll show you a little bit later. But they did an update on the maps application, and essentially they did an amazing job because they now have included, in the past they only had car and like as a navigation option, but now they have timetables for transit, they have walking, they have scooter, which was interesting, but hey, they're becoming more popular, right? The scooters, like, kind of around in different cities. So I think that that's a good thing. Um, and yeah, so yeah, I'm really excited about that. So check out Sunbeam, very good company, and they continue to make their devices better. As you see, they're continuing to release. Dialer got AT&T Visual Voicemail in the 23rd of April 2026 update. Massive. A lot of people didn't have that before. I know it was only Verizon and T-Mobile. So as you see, they continue to make their different locations, calculator, backup. They're updating all of their apps and they're making sure that they stay up to date. Even the weather, again, it's just kind of like a lot of different things that they're doing. Excellent company. It's going to continue to go places because their development continues to improve and they're pretty responsive. So highly recommend it. Love the new updates about this. I think this announcement from Light will not necessarily make any difference for Sunbeam. I think their value proposition is completely different than the Light phone. But yeah, it kind of is going to put a lot of pressure into other Dumbphone platforms. I think Mudita will probably have to release some sort of SDK. Maybe they'll decide to do that. Maybe they don't feel like they need to do that because the Pure already allows side loading. So it kind of depends on what you want. But I think what this shows, and this is an argument that I have made for a long time now in the channel, is that the company that you decide to give the money to needs to give you the same money in value. And a lot of people, I did see this in a post lately. So there was a person here that said, "Hey, I got a Dumbphone and it was trash, right? Like they got a Nokia device and it wasn't what they needed, etc., etc." I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to find it. Maybe it was this one. No. Here, let me try to find it in my other web version. I know I replied to this person. So it was Dumbphones. Okay, let's see. I don't see it, man. Let's see. Recent, maybe. Relevance. New. Okay, I don't see it, unfortunately, but I'm going to try to find it later. Either way, a lot of people go and buy a cheap device, right? So they buy a cheap Dumbphone and they get their money's worth. Honestly, that's what happens. What's going on is that people come into the subreddit and they're like, "Hey, can I get a very cheap device that does all the things that I want?" Here is an example. This happens on the subreddit every single day. It says, "Hey guys, I know probably 1,000 people already asked this." Yes, they have. And maybe it's already super, so I apologize. I guess I'm addicted, so I was thinking, is there a phone that has a camera, is able to do Spotify and WhatsApp, Telegram, Signal? I have virtually no clue with phones again. I'm sorry, this is really stupid. Yada, 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 right? So they're just saying like, "Hey, I want this, and that," right? Usually people would say, "Can I get it under $100?" And the answer is technically yes, you could, but what is the experience that you're going to get? What is the experience that you're going to have by having some of these kind of like devices that are maybe cheaply made? There's no support. There's no update when something breaks. And this is big because honestly, like I don't like that these devices are super expensive either. Like, let's be clear with that. And you have like, for example, the Horizon phone. It's a flip phone. It's very simple. And you go to Sunbeam and you're like $249. Why? Like, this probably doesn't cost them. But what you're buying is not necessarily the device itself. It's the experience over time. And specifically here, for the Horizon Bluebird phone, right? You are going to have this device. You're going to have it probably for like 3 years. But during those 3 years, there's going to be improvements made. There's going to be updates made. And these updates matter because they make the experience a lot better. They make the experience a lot better, but they also make it seamless for you, because when you need something, you can ask the company, like, is this something that is within your ethos? Is this something within your ability to do? Same thing with Mudita. You're buying a premium or more premium kind of like device that is e-ink, and that you're going to be able to sideload things if you want to. And then you have Lightphone, most expensive. Not necessarily like that is so expensive, but if you're looking for non-distractive tools, this is the way to go. And I think that this is going to prove the argument that I have made over time, that when you switch to a Dumbphone, the amount of money that you pay does matter. It matters because it makes things a lot different. It makes the support different. So whenever you're having issues, whenever you're having like, things, you don't have to go figure it out yourself, but somebody else is figuring them out with you. So yeah. So again, very good. Love what's happening here. Here, I think the Sunbeam already charged. Yeah, charged enough. Let me show you how the new, let's see, navigation. So this is the new navigation system. You go to settings. Okay, cool. Let me show you here. And okay, boom, there it is. Nice. So here it is. You have route type, and you have vehicle type. You have transit, scooter, bicycle, walking, truck. So instead of having truck and car, now you have walking, now you have bicycle, now you have scooter, and now you have transit. And let me input something so that we can try to see if I can use it. I don't know if I need, nope. Yeah, okay. Maybe I can do it with find nearby. Restaurants, nope. Okay, so I can enter an address. Oh, that's difficult. Okay, let me see if I can do it quickly so I can show you. Let's see, Maine. Okay, did something completely different. All right, it's not allowing me because I don't have the premium subscription, and I'll have to go into the device to go to the premium subscription. So as of right now, not possible. So, but again, I recommend that you go check it out, and it has this ability to switch the vehicle type. Let me see if I can. There you go. It's a little better. So you have scooter, you have bicycle, you have walking, you have truck. So now it'll give you like the different maps. You can use the 3D map, routing, etc., etc. So super cool what they're doing. Really excited about their development. And if you want to get faster updates, go to updates, and then go to menu, and then go to settings, and then early access updates right there. So if you go to early access updates, you will get the earliest beta versions of all of their apps. So if they're fixing something or they're doing anything with the device that allows you to kind of like engage with it, this is something that you can do. So highly recommend that you go to your Sunbeam device, you go to updates, you go to menu, you go to settings, and then install early access so that you get the updates first. So really, really excited. So essentially it's one of those things that I think that the company is just doing great. It's going to continue to improve. And let me do this. And it's one of those companies that it's really committed to that Dumbphone lifestyle and making this experience as easy as possible for busy professionals, for people who need, different kind of like devices, and, they're able to do all of these things with it. Okay. Next update. So I don't want to say I had written off this company. I mean, it's just essentially what their value proposition was communicating before was not as clear to me, but now it's different. So the Meadow device, I have learned, is now going to be a standalone device. So before they had devised this device, they have devised this product as a idea of like, this is going to help you disconnect. This is a device that only has these certain apps, right? So their app list was calls, text, camera, Uber, maps, music, Spotify, podcast, notes, fitness, clock, and weather. Our feature list is subject to change. If our community finds some features are missing or necessary, want to influence this list, pre-order and write to us, right? So before, they used to have this like, hey, this is going to be a companion to your phone. And a lot of people were like, but what if I just want it to be my phone? What if I just want a small phone that has access to these apps, right? Kind of like same principle that other people have said. And they were like, no, it's not going to have that. Well, now it does. So if you pre-order, now this device is going to be coming with a phone number, a separate phone number that you can be reached at by your contacts. You could use it standalone, or you could use it in companionship with a secondary device. I don't think it really makes sense for $3.99 to use it as a secondary device. Personally, I really don't think so. That's just my personal opinion, because it has a subscription and like, yeah, it's just not worth it in my opinion. So yeah, so if you're going to use this as a companion, there are better options out there. But if you're going to use it as a standalone, which now they will allow some texting and some contacts and that kind of stuff, I think is going to be a good product. So yeah, so that's an update for this one. What time did I start this? About 2 minutes ago, so 20:34. Yeah, so let me update that. So Meadow, interesting company. They're doing some kind of like different things, but now you can use the device as a standalone, which makes it more of like, this can be a Dumbphone, right? Like, so the Meadow device. Okay, cool. What else? Mudita, good and bad. Unfortunately, if you go to the forum, you got to see a few concerning things. So they pulled back the 1.5 update because it had some issues, but also there was a little bit of a data breach, unfortunately, with Mudita. But they, seem to have been very communicative about that and what you can do and that kind of stuff. Let me see if I can find somebody put it here. Yep, this one. So, dear Sir Madam, would like to inform you about an incident concerning security personal data of our online Mudita store. And then they go into detail what happened. An incorrect technical configuration of a service, which could have enabled access to a copy of a customer database. And again, nothing to say that it was access. They're not saying like there was a bad actor in the actual access. They're saying like there was an incorrect technical configuration on one of the servers, which could have enabled access. And the incident may have involved all of these things, which again, not a good thing, unfortunately. Yeah. So sad that this happened, but appreciate the transparency. And for safety, they recommend changing the account password, exercising caution when suspicious messages or links, not sharing your login credentials with third parties, which should be things that you're doing on all counts. So very important, very interesting. But I appreciate that they have been transparent about it, and they're continuing to update some of the things that are coming down the line. So something to keep in mind. So yeah, I'm really excited to see how it works, and stay in tune. Like if you want to stay kind of like the latest, go to the forummudita.com. I'm gonna put it in the live link so that you can get it and be able to use it that way. Perfect. So that is a Mudita update. Nothing, big happening in that space, but kind of exciting to see where this is going to lead. Super interested to see how it works out. Okay. There are some other updates that happened. One of them from a device that we have been following up, not necessarily a Dumbphone, but a different smartphone. I like small devices. They are, let's go to the Kickstarter that probably will be easier to find. So I am still not making an update on this device because the case has not been shipped to me. I hope to get it sometime soon, but it's not here yet. I don't know if it's here. I think it's here. This one. Yes. Okay, perfect. So this device, the Ikko Mine 1, is a square device. And we're doing the update about this at 40 minutes. So this device is a square phone. Really excited about what it represents as a deviation from the large slab, you know. But they have fixed one of the biggest complaints from the community, the NFC compatibility. So before they had some issues with NFC now and compatibility for certification purposes, but now they have been able to patch those and they have the updated experience. And now you can do your cards and, you know, that kind of stuff for your NFC compatibility for your payments or transit or whatever it is. They have also optimized the fingerprint, charging mode, screen adaptation, etc., etc. There's a lot of other improvements, and they are also coming up with a few nice things. Here, I'm going to charge it to show you this new update. And I think the company is at least showcasing that they're listening. So there's a question in the chat that says, not really a Dumbphone, but the Jelly Star was supposed to get Android 16 this month, but didn't. Correct. So I have said this in the past. The company that you trust matters. So you have Unihertz. Unihertz is a company that I appreciate. They're doing a lot of different things, right? They're doing, you know, like, they're doing a lot of like new and pushing the boundaries, QWERTY keyboards. They're doing small phones, etc., etc. But it wasn't until they got competition that they started to try to update their devices. So here is a link. Jelly Star update on Android progress. Today I received the following message from Alice at Unihertz. There's still some issues with upgrading the Jelly Star to Android 16. Our engineers are working on it, but we cannot provide exact time for at the moment. We apologize for the inconvenience. According to the current plan, the Jelly Star will be updated to Android 16 and security patches will continue to be provided until 2027. So they have a plan, but you know what's the issue here? That this device has not been updated since 2022 when it got released, roughly 2022, 2023. And it was a very popular device. But this is what happens when you don't listen to the community. This is what happens when you just iterate year after year and you put out new devices because it's the shiny thing to do instead of actually catering to the community that you have built. You know, when Unihertz got the new announcement of the QWERTY keyboard device and the Clicks device came, which is a competitor to them, the Clicks communicator, they were like, oh, they're going to do 6 years of updates or 5 years of updates? Well, we're going to do 6 years of updates as well, right? They only promised this when they saw that their model was not going to be feasible for the market because customers are tired of upgrading each year after year for marginal upgrades. They want a device that works for a longer time and that has support. And this sentiment is resonating with a lot of people, especially people who are, again, tired of doing these endless cycles of upgrades. So companies that will continue to update their devices. Unihertz, why are they having problems updating the Jelly Star to Android 16? Number one, a massive update like that is not easy. Let's just take it from that context first. It's not going to be an overnight thing. You push a few buttons, you ask ChatGPT, can you code this for me? No. This is a massive undertaking because you have to rework not only the software, but make sure that the hardware and the software match. They have proper implementations and that nothing is breaking the internals of the device and also the overall feel. So it's going to take a long time. But had they updated each device, so if they had done Android 13 to Android 14 or even Android 15, right? They would have done a cycle of updates on this device. Instead of leaving it aside like nobody cares about it, they will have an easier time doing this. So companies like Ikko now come and they're like, hey, you want a small phone that has updates and that a company that is responsive or more responsive, maybe not the most responsive, but just more responsive, that at least communicate with you and they're trying to do their best. Here we are. And that's what competition does. Competition does, like Unihertz has had the market of small phones for a long time. They have had the markets of QWERTY keyboards for a long time as well. But the lack of updates and continual iteration kills that trust that people want to have with the company. So if you want to create a good company, if you want to create a company that is going to be standing the test of time, you want to create a company that builds goodwill with the consumer. And how do you build goodwill? You update the device, you make it better and better, as long as it's feasible, right? Like, if it's not feasible, you just tell the person, like, this is not feasible. It's not going to be a possibility. And, you leave it at that. But if it's feasible, do it. There you go. Okay. All right. Cool. Let's see some comments. Okay, go. Is the Jelly Star going to get Android 16 today? No, it's not. Probably it'll be June by the time that they figure it out. They're able to stabilize the build. This takes months. I mean, like it takes a long time to update things. Like, I know myself as I have helped other companies do this, here and there with like priority implementation and all of those things. So, yeah. Okay. Last 404, some comment says, I completely agree. When someone sees my light phone and we talk about the price, they say, why didn't you buy a Nokia, a cheap Nokia? And they say, and Last says, I did twice. I unfortunately learned the hard way. Texting on flip phones, especially ones without speech to text, is a nightmare. And people always complain that I never text them. And there are other plethora of issues, right? Like, the device breaks. There is a bug. There is an issue. It doesn't work. Yada, yada, yada. So even the light phone is not perfect. And I will admit that. I've had a light phone 3 for a year or so, a little bit. I got it in March last year, I believe. And, it hasn't been a problem-free experience, but I trust the company is going to update it. And I trust the company is going to make great advancements. And of course, now they are. The developer program is that big advancement. And now it's going to be way easier because the community is going to pour into this device. They're going to create apps, and then they're going to be like, yay, this is amazing. So there you go. Let's see. Squidvorb. Is it possible to replace Waze with Google or OpenStreetMaps? On which device, Squid? Help me understand. If it's on the Sunbeam F1, no. Many other devices, yes. But if you can clarify your question, I would appreciate that. So there you go. Okay. More news on the world of dumb phones is we have a little project. I called it DPAD Tools. I think I put it on YouTube, right? Player J Briones 95. Okay, well, I'll go here and then I'll go into the link. So I believe that this is very important to me now. So creating applications that are DPAD friendly is going to be extremely important for the future of dumb phones. Not every dumb phone is going to be like the Light Phone 3. Not everybody loves a touchscreen dumb phone. Some people like, or simple device. Some people like the good old, good old buttons, right? So here it is. So here we have it. Let me put this here. Oh, give me a second. There you go. Come on. There you go. Perfect. So I started to create some applications on, first I created a music player that is DPAD compatible. So if you have a dumb phone like this one, you are going to be able to navigate through everything, clearly labeling what is necessary. Let me punch in a little bit. Let me see if I can. There you go. So the advantage of this app over something like, a different music player. So here is another music player that is included with the Dumb Droid. This app that they include is good. I think it's great. It's a very good app, but it's not made for a dumb phone. It's made for a touchscreen device. As you see right here, this also is a touchscreen device, so you can play music. Let me make sure that the volume is down so that I don't get copyright strike by Bat Bunny here. Yeah, I don't want that. So here we have a music player, and as you see, you can select some things and you can navigate some things and whatnot, and it's great. But sometimes you may not be able to appreciate as much what are you selecting, what are you actually, getting here. And I want to create a standard system, as standard as possible, so that all dumb phones, regardless of whether they are large flip phones or small flip phones or candy bar devices, if they have a D-pad, that all of the things can work. So I'll show you something that, so for example, like I'm going to play a song here. Let's see. There you go. So it's playing. And when I go to the mini player, it doesn't show up. So in order to show this mini player, I kind of had to like tap. So that is not a good experience for dumb phones. So what I did is I built this small MP3 player, similar, but everything that you're going through. See, everything is labeled. You're going to be able to know where's your album. There it is. You're going to be able to see everything. And whenever you play it, you have access to the mini player. And it tells you like, hey, if you click there, you're going to have access to the mini player, right? So let's play the music right there, access to the mini player. And then it gives you a bigger player. There is the loop. There is the go back for a different song, right? There is the whatever it is that you're listening to. There is the forward, skip a few seconds, and you also have a queue manager. So there it is, the queue, and you can go to the 3 dots, add to playlist, play next, add to queue. But see how everything is clear? I don't like it when the call out is a little subtle because I'm like, where am I again? When you're using a dumb phone, sometimes that is frustrating. So you don't have the best experience possible. So I have created this tool. You also have some settings, of course. You can change the theme right there. This is dark. You can change the accent color. I have a retro color that I created just to kind of like make it look like that. Show top of the library. Yeah. So, I created also a library on top of this right there. Songs, albums, explicitly where you are, where you need to be, how you need to navigate everything. And that matters. At least it matters to me. So if you want to try it out, I'm going to put the link in the description and also in the live chat. I think this is important. If you're a developer and you want to contribute, make sure to open source DPAD Tools. This is a very important matter because not every dumb phone has the ability to do some of these things. I think I started at like 50 DPAD Tools. Perfect. And I can showcase what I've been working on. So besides the music player, I'm also working on DPAD Messenger. So for messages right here, as you see right there, you're going to be able to select numbers. If you want to add for group chat, you also can do that. And then you can start the chat. Let's change the keyboard. I don't know how to do it here. Maybe I'll have to change it in settings. It's not final yet. There's some bugs and stuff. Let me go change the keyword so that it shows the... Let's see. So yeah, I'm creating a suite of apps that are able to Let's go here, keyboard. It's not searching. Oh, there it is. Keyboard. Oh, no, it's not that one. The back one. System. Right there. No. Where is it? Default keyboard. I don't know how to access it, man. Okay, let's go to T9. If I access this, select default keyboard. There it is. Okay, perfect. Okay, cool. Now I can go back to the messages app. Yep. So let me show you. So if you use the regular messaging app, right, right here. Oh, it paused. Sorry. So if you use the regular messaging app, let me put this on this side. Maybe this will work. Yeah, perfect. There you go. You can navigate some things, but you really don't know where you are. Right there, there's a little highlight, but you know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. If you want to get to numbers, etc., cool. There you go. You have the messages. Great. On my messaging app, or the one that I'm developing, as you see right here, you have the D-pad. Everything is clearly labeled, and you know where you're at because you're able to use the different implementations. There are some things I'm still working on. So like here's emoji, selection, boom. There is symbols if you want to access them or you don't have access to them on the one. You know, sometimes some keyboards don't have access to it. So there's that. Yeah, so you have some draft messages, as you see right there. You can use the drafts. You can send a text message, etc. You can go to the settings and you can see specifically where you're at. And that's kind of like the important part. If you want to test these things, let me know. Again, I'm really excited to create these apps so that they are available for manufacturers of dumb phones so that they are able to do it themselves, like also reskin them and, you know, do all of these things. It's just very important. It's very important that we have access to all of the different utilities without having to be beholden to the touchscreen. And I think that's you know, something that's good. This is supposed to be a scheduled send, so in the future that'll be able to work. And the last tool that I'm working on, because some people want to use a browser on their dumb phone, which I understand, you know, some people want that, but the experience of a regular browser, as you will see, is crappy on a dumb phone. Here it is. So let's say we go to Google, we go around, we're able to select some things, yay, but then the cursor gets lost. So how do I scroll? How do I scroll? How do I scroll through the results? Oh no, I'm not able to scroll through the results. Guess why? Because this is made for a touchscreen. What I have done is implemented a very simple browser that is meant for dumb phones. As you see right here, right there, you're able to go around. You have some of the very basic ideas you can find in the page. You can scroll. Let's go and say hello. And you know exactly where you're at every single time. And then you're able to scroll. See? There you go. No need to use the touchscreen, which is a very big advantage for a lot of people that want. And if you go into a specific you know, menu or whatever, you're also going to be able to scroll because I have selected it in a way that this essentially uses the system of a TV, like an Android TV, and you're going to be able to scroll through everything that you need. Cancel, all right, there. Let's exit that. Hey, we're scrolling. Look at that. And these are difficult to do sometimes. So, you know, I appreciate any support that you can give, whether it is something like sharing it, testing. If you have monetary resources, you can share a little bit. There's a Buy Me a Coffee link there. Because, again, we're trying to make sure that this is a standard experience among all dumb phones. make sure that it's a useful experience for all of these things. So yeah, hopefully this is helpful to some of you. I'll be publishing the messaging and the browser app in the future. So stay tuned to see how all of this works. I'll be creating clock. I'll be recreating essentially all the system apps so that they are able to be navigable with a D-pad and no touchscreen. So if you're a developer and you want to help, you're a better developer than I am. I'm a hobby developer. I'm not a professional developer. I would appreciate if you can look at my code and also help with the project. Okay, let's go for some other comments and questions. Let's go for some other comments and questions. Let's see. Hi, Jose. I wanted to ask if you've seen the short video of minimalist Meizu Beautyphone. Why does this sound like a scam? Oh, it's a smartphone. Okay. You just wanted publicity? Is that it? Yep. You just wanted publicity. Great. Yeah, here it is, guys. A smartphone. Yay. Not related to this. All right. Have fun. Have a great day. Yeah. Okay. Let's continue. The camera froze again. I don't know why. All right, there it is. Cool. Let's see. Let's see. Jose, do you know if there's any plans for an audiobook player and a rereader for the LP3? People are saying that I should host a server or something to make it work through the podcast tool. Oh yes, good. Actually, this is good. I forgot, man. Like I should have jotted this down. There is a service that a person is building for this kind of things. So let me show you the project. I do have it on my light phone. Let me make sure that this kind of goes back. Perfect. So if you go to the podcast tool, there is now SoundCloud Stream. So there is a person building this. It's kind of like a hobby project, and he is trying to do Bandcamp, SoundCloud, and Substack so far, but I don't see why this couldn't be done for audiobooks. So the idea is, let me go here, Reddit, Lightphone, SoundCloud, and I think it's this one. Yes. So it used to be this, but now it's LP Press or something like that. Let's see, sc/rss.onrender. I'm pretty sure he has his own. Oh, there it is. Okay, perfect. So let me switch to show you how it works. Perfect. Yeah, I don't know why this is not sticking around. Okay, let's try that. Let me see. Give me 1 second. There you go. I think that should stick it around with no issues. I do have bad news about the Cat F25. I'll let you know in just a second. Sorry. I just saw that question. So this project is a hobby project for a person that essentially allows to stream SoundCloud likes and your Bandcamp collection as a personal podcast feed. And he's also doing Substack for Lightphone Beta. So what you have to do is you have to sign in, you create your dashboard, and then you sync it with the RSS cloud feed. And it works. It works. So what he did was essentially implement a server on the back end that grabs all of this. And as you see, all of my likes for the songs are there. And you are able to see them without any issues. And you can get the SoundCloud stream and the notes in the Notes app. Let me see. Yes, this is fine. So in the Notes app, he's able to sync automatically the he's going to be able to sync automatically the Substack things. Now, there is another way of doing this for audiobooks. So Reddit audiobooks Light Phone 3. And what this person does is use Bookio to host your audiobooks. So essentially, he puts the audiobook, he downloads it via Open Audible, and then essentially he makes the audiobook into an RSS feed, and then you're going to be able to use it into kind of like the podcast tool. Now, that happens as of right now. So technically that's the workflow as of right now. In the future, what I think should be able to see is that people, because the Light Phone developer program allows media access, tools can be built around audio, video, images, and other files. What I think is going to end up happening is somebody's going to create a player, like an audio player that is specific for the Light Phone with the UX and UI and, all of those good things, right? So when they do that, you will be able to put your audiobook in that tool, and then you'll be able to listen to your audiobooks. So again, the timeline, I know it's not nice to wait, but it's just a few more months. So where is the wait time? I don't see it. Right there, estimated timeline. So by September, when they launch the tool library, I can definitely say that we'll have an audiobook tool. If anything, I'll have to create it because it's important. It's important to me. So yeah, I think it's one of those things. This is like, an audiobook tool should be available. So right now you have to do it through Bookio. So let's put it here. Bookio. Audiobooks. Or Book.io, maybe. This is the one. I don't know. But you create your own RSS feed. And turn audiobooks into professional RSS feeds. There it is. Go bookio.com. And you start creating. It does cost you a little bit of money. You can create one audiobook project for free or unlimited for $3.99 a month. So this is what you can do right now. You grab the book, you get it into an RSS feed, and then you get it into the podcast. If you're only listening to one audiobook at a time, hey, just use Google Bookio. Perfect. It works out. If you want to create more, then, that's fine too. So just an FYI. So that's the current system. And then eventually we'll build a audiobook tool that's separated from the music tool so you can listen to your audiobooks. So, yes. Let's see. Alt Companion. Yes, I did see the side phone news. Thank you for reminding me. So the side phone people have been making some progress and updates, and they have somebody shared this yesterday. Yep, right here. I'm gonna have to zoom in a little bit. Oh, it's not gonna let me. Great. Can I open the image in a new tab? Yes. So if you see right there, SidePhone has a new D-pad. So one of the main complaints for the SidePhone is that they didn't have a D-pad because, again, in my personal opinion, it's one of those things that is quite important, right? So whenever you have a Dumbphone, whenever you have the 9 keys and whatnot, you want to have a D-pad. You want to have the ability to use this device and not have to use the touchscreen. The SidePhone has a touchscreen as a fail-safe mechanism. If everything fails and you need to use the touchscreen, which I think is a good thing, but they also were missing this. They were missing the D-pad. So now they have the new classic keypad coming with the new orders. So I'm excited about that. I'm actually really excited about that. I think it's going to be exciting to see how it all kind of like pencils in and how it works out. I talked to Chris. He will be sending a sample so that I can see it at some point in time, and I'll be testing it. So yeah, I'm really excited about this possibility of having a D-pad on the SidePhone. It's super, super exciting. I think it's going to be better than just a kind of like a regular thing, and better than the current implementation, which requires that you kind of hop around and do all of these different things with the touchscreen and interact with the keys, etc., etc. Also, they added, it's very faint, but they added the letters, which again is a huge improvement over a 9 keypad that they have that didn't have letters. So this probably was not a minor change, but it wasn't also a major change from what they were doing. But I'm excited to see, how it all works. So yeah, thank you for reminding me. Yeah. Can somebody put the link to the developer mode page? Well, number one, it's not live yet, so just FYI, you have to apply. But I will put the link in the chat. I think I put it before, but that's fine. There it is. Now you have the link in the chat. More questions. We're coming to an end here in a second, but let's see. Hello, Jose. Have you heard an update on the Cat F125? Came into a live stream late. Sorry if the question was already answered. No, it hasn't. So thanks for asking, Joe. The timeline continues to move, and I don't know if the project is going to be scrapped, honestly, completely. I don't want it to be scrapped, but I don't necessarily have trust in Orbic at this point for them to release the device. It's been a year at this point, and they haven't figured out. I don't know if the pricing is not penciling in or, something like that, et cetera, but I was told that this device is kind of like in limbo right now. So just take that for what you will. Hopefully it comes out soon. Hopefully they surprise everybody, even me, with a release this May or June. But I just wouldn't expect it. At this point, I wouldn't expect it. So there you go. Sorry for the bad news. Let's see. Colton says, I'm thinking of switching to the Sony X3 Plus 5G. My biggest issue is I really like having Android Auto Maps. Good question. So not cheap, but if this is your only qualm, you could get one of these. So I am going to get one of these for review in the near future. Oh, that's not the... So the Autoways, there it is. So Autoways is a company that does a puck, if you will. So there you go. They have their cell phone. And then the Autoways is a box that provides maps and kind of like a container. So the Autoways box is essentially this, a kind of like a puck that you connect to your car, and you have access to Waze or Google Maps. And yeah, you can connect for calls, etc., kind of like link it, and you can dual Bluetooth built-in, hands-free music, and connecting to all kinds of Bluetooth, Waze, and Google Maps. Connects to your car in less than a minute. Yes, of course, that kind of stuff. So it's expensive, but I mean, again, if the only thing that is preventing you from going with the Dumbphone is Android Auto, go with this. Yeah, why not? You have Autoways, you have the box, US, Canada. You're going to be able to use it. I think it's a cool device. I think it works for a lot of the community that are looking to have a Dumbphone and keep that with their cars. So, yeah. So hopefully that helps you. I know not a lot of people know about them because this is not. It's niche, right? Like, so it's one of those things that not everybody's paying attention to, and this is a niche community, but we have niche solutions. So and again, it's a little bit expensive. It's on the expensive side. I personally don't have one. Mainly because I haven't really found a way to be like, oh, yeah, I really want to have this. It's expensive. I don't have an Android Auto car, so even I cannot test it. I have to go and I have a friend that I have bugged a few times. I'm like, hey, can you let me test these Dumbphones on your car because I don't have Android Auto, right? And they're like, yeah, I know. So I have to ask my friend every single time that I want to test an Android Auto capable device. Does it work? Like I go to his house, I connected. And then I'm like, okay, it works or it doesn't, and that kind of stuff. So, but if you're looking for a standalone thing, the auto waste box works. So, mini worlds, something like that. It says, I was thinking about getting a Books Palma as an e-ink companion device for the side phone, for the Light Phone 3, not the side phone. Bigger e-ink screen or smaller e-ink for a companion device? Good question. I made a video yesterday about this e-ink best companion dumb phones. YouTube. Literally yesterday, right there. E-inks tablets are the best companion devices. I personally like to go bigger, and I'll give you the reason why. So whenever you have a device like this, you have a larger device that is, able to work with your apps and all of the different things that you need and want. And the reason why I say go with the bigger device is because you can now pull it out when you're stopping in traffic, when you are in the odd moment in the coffee shop or waiting for the grocery line, right? Those are small examples that when you're standing in front of the grocery line and you have a Books Palma and you have a Light Phone 3, you're going to pull the Books Palma and you're going to check on things because the grocery store has Wi-Fi. So there you have a moment where you could have been allowing your brain to have a completely bored experience, a break from all of the stimulation, and you decided to bring the Books Palma with you because it has that same form factor as a phone, and you pulled it out so that you looked into the device. When you have a tablet, that is much harder. It's much harder to be like, oh yeah, let me pull out this massive 8.7, 10.3 inch device and be like, yeah, I'm going to be here scrolling on it. It's just much harder. Same thing for the car. If you're driving, you come to a stop sign, you're like, hey, what's the Books Palma saying, right? Instead, can you imagine pulling out what I'm showing you right now, this massive in the middle of like traffic? You look crazy. Like you are stopped from, your brain stops you automatically because it's like, yo, don't do this. This looks weird. You're that person. So that automatically stops you from it. And I really, really think that you should go with the larger device. I personally recommend the Super Note. So let's go to this here. So the Super Note devices, because they are versatile, they're made as a kind of like a scribbling device, et cetera, right? But also, this is my favorite part. The modular design designed for easy upgrade, repair, and less e-waste. And they're free software updates constantly, no subscription. I love Remarkable. They have an amazing product. But you know what the problem is? Whenever you get one of their devices, you have this, the Connect subscription, pricings and plans. No subscription, fine. Connect subscription, templates, store all of your work in the cloud, etc., $3.99. Connect for business, $6.99. But guess what? Supernote, let's go back to Supernote. They have a private cloud. So they're so committed to the no subscription lifestyle that they made a workflow so that you officially you can support a cloud service with your own hardware. That's massive to me. That is showing you the values of the company, right? Remarkable, great product, amazing, good innovation, but they're banking on you wanting the subscription. And last time I heard, this company, Remarkable, created a downgrade of their system. Like they locked in even more features on the subscription. I prefer companies that show this. Hey, what's new? What's the hardware repair? How can I make a DIY Supernote pen? I mean, like, think about this. The company's saying like, hey, you can do this yourself. You don't have to do it, with us. You don't have to buy our stuff. You can do your own thing. How to clean the Supernote Manta, how to customize the loop, how to clean your Supernote screen, how to make a DIY Nomad enclosure, back cover. They give you the 3D printed file. I mean, come on. Like, this is what I love about technology companies when they're transparent, when they're like, we're selling you great hardware, but it's up to you to how do you want to use it. Love companies that do that. So again, my argument, whenever you're bored, whenever you are having these little things like the traffic, the grocery store, you cannot pull out the small device, so go with the bigger device. My argument, my idea, I prefer bigger devices. They offer a better understanding of the kind of like separation of things like that. Have heard great things about Supernote. Supernote is a great company, and it's going to be the company I'm going to replace my books with in the future. So really hope that you at least give it a shot. And again, 2 channels that you need to know in this space is My Deep Guide. So this dude has hours of videos. Like, I mean, is 44 videos, 27 minutes. I mean, 44 videos, 44 minutes, 43 minutes, 19 minutes, 20 minutes talking about e-ink. So highly recommend that you go there. You ask him questions. He knows this world very, 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 very much. And he can recommend you what's the best device for you. Voya, thank you for your thorough videos. Really, really, really enjoy them. Then you have Kit Best Masters. I think Bets Masters. He's more on like kind of like consumer side. He reviews everything, but he has his opinions as well. Go check it out. He also does a pretty good job with his videos. They're definitely shorter, 11, 7, more like things here, yada, yada, yada. But My Deep Guide, Voya has like so much high quality content on this topic, and you can ask him questions and he'll reply. So really appreciate his knowledge about this. So yeah. Okay, more questions. Let's continue. Let's see. La. Okay, I don't know how to say. Bra, maybe Brie. Brie ha. It's in Hebrew, so I'm trying to decode it. Is that a bait at the beginning? I know that's a resh. Anyways, what do you think about the Wise Phone 2? Wise Phone 2 is okay. I mean, look, if you're looking for a company that has all of the apps that you want, intentional apps, none of the garbage, yada, 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 and you're okay paying a Wise OS subscription, which is, they now capped it. Great. Now you cannot even see it. So I think it's $15 a month. I don't think you will be present, yada, yada, yada. Sure. Oh, there it is. $14.99, so $15 a month. If you want that, that's fine. But if that's the experience that you're looking for, just go with Sleek. Sleek, one-time payment. Yes, it is more expensive because it's $400, but you pay one time, you get the apps that you need, nothing that you don't. They recently added Android Auto. Good stuff for them. Like, honestly, really excited about the future of this company and the people, because they're listening to the user base. But you pay one time and you get the same restrictions with none of the subscriptions. So Sleek is one of them. Balance Phone, they're mainly in Europe, but I believe they're shipping. No, Balance Phone. The Balance Phone. Again, they couldn't get balancephone.com. So Balance Phone, more expensive. lockdown platform, $691 Balance Phone Pro. Or if you have a Samsung device and you don't mind the subscription, but it's cheaper than the other one, $99 a year for Balance OS. So just, something to think about. You want to go even cheaper if you don't mind subscriptions. Limit Phone. Limit Phone is the blocker that cannot be switched off. And this one is $30. Yes, $30 a year. So you want to try it out, you can try it out. It's $250 a month or $30 a year. So really recommend all of these options. I don't think Wise Phone is worth it because their hardware is a phone. Let's go to Wise Phone. So their hardware is a Samsung Galaxy A15. Galaxy A15 or A51. Maybe it's an A51 now. So if you go and get a Galaxy A51, you can get it for $110. If you go buy the Wise Phone, you pay $399. That's a problem in my opinion. Maybe it's not an A. No, maybe it's an A15. Yep, it is an A15. So even worse. It's not even as powerful. So you have a Galaxy A15, $109. You have the Wise Phone 2, $399. And on top of that, you pay them $15 a month. Come on, guys. Like, we can do better than this. If the price was like $200, $199, hey, you're making $99 profit. You have this technology, like, hey, we understand that, and then you pay $15 a month because of the convenience and the updates. Fine. Okay, that's fine. But triple the markup plus a subscription, go get a Sleek, go get Limit Phone for $30, go get a Balance Phone and, pay one time. Don't fall into the subscription game. Just my 2 cents. I personally don't like subscriptions. I'm biased against them. I hate them personally. So just my 2 cents. Only get a subscription if you're getting enough value for it. So in my opinion, the Wise Phone, there are other devices that you can get that are way cheaper or way cheaper over time. So, just FYI. Okay. Last question for now. Dylan says, hi, Jose. What are your thoughts on the Lively Jitterbug Flip 2? Have you ever used it? Yes, I have. And I believe I have a review on it. Jitterbug Flip 2. Okay. So I do have a review, but the Jitterbug Flip 2 used to be called the Lively Flip. And where is it? Nope. Okay, let's put my name. There it is. Ha ha ha. Back in the day. Man, nice video right there. Cool stuff. And I don't do as many kind of like direct to camera videos now. Now it's mainly like showcasing to you the stuff. But I mean, hey, different. I've heard so much feedback from you guys that was like, hey, like, I'll put the review there. Those are my thoughts. It's a pretty limited device. If you're okay with the restrictions that it has, and you're also okay with, doing some of the kind of like vintage Jose, yeah. So if you're okay with like some of the limitations, having a carrier that is through Jitterbug, and you just want something simple, it's not a terrible device, but there are better ones, I guess. Like, I mean, I'm super biased for the TCL Flip 2. If you're still able to find them at a decent price, so ebay.com, let's try to find one. I think you'll just be better served by that. So TCL Flip 2. They're hard to find. That's the problem. Okay, yeah, even there, 179, but it's the kosher one. It's not even like the regular one. Yeah. So if you can find a TCL Flip 2 use, go for it. If you're trying to stay under a certain amount of money, let's go to the Dumbphone Finder. Can you give me your budget, Dylan? Like, I want to kind of know, like, because if you're looking at the Jitterbug, you're definitely under 200. So let's do that. 201 right there. Dumbphone lifestyle change because you don't want you really are not looking for a super expensive device. Yeah, I'm trying to think. So let's see. In the meantime, that you get me that information, we'll chat with other questions. It says, "Hi Jose, super random question. Do you know any dumb phones with cameras?" Ooh, that's a no-go, man. Sorry, J Deep. Yeah, there is no dumb phone with camera stabilization. You need to get to the smartphone world for that. As far as I know, yeah, there is no such thing as of right now in the market, unfortunately. So yeah, sorry about that. Not that I know. I'll ask. I'm trying to think. Maybe. All right, where is this? Okay. I haven't tested this, but the Mind Phone. Oh, this is not the Mind Phone. It looked like it for a second. Give me a second. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, found it. Okay, let's go back to life. There you go. Okay, I'm gonna have to charge this, but maybe this module has camera stabilization. So the Mind Phone 2 Pro, good guys, good developer, good people. They're trying to make a more stable dumb phone experience for a lot of people. So let's get Mind Phone Green Touch right there. So it's more on the expensive side, of course. But they have a 10% discount right now. Perfect. So I don't know. They have a really high resolution camera in the rear, but I don't know if it has stabilization. I don't know, but I can test right now and let you know how it comes out. But this will be kind of like the closest to it. It's pretty powerful. It should have stabilization. I mean, like the new camera modules usually do, but I'm not 100% sure. So I'll have to check with that. But maybe the Mind Phone 2 Pro has this stabilization into the device. Not 100% sure, but personally, I think it might. So I'm going to test it right now. Kevin Scarf says, I'm looking to Apple Watch a phone. I'm going to try to understand that. I think you're trying to say that you're trying to use the Apple Watch as a phone, which I do have a update on that. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. I am back. Okay, cool. So this is my Apple Watch phone, and I think it has improved a lot. Oh my gosh! Like, so when I reviewed this as a phone long time ago, the Apple Watch as a phone, probably I want to say 3 years ago, roughly, I reviewed, can you use an Apple Watch as a phone? And the answer was no. The answer was no. A lot of apps still required the device to be synced with an iPhone all the time. And it was very difficult, cumbersome. Battery life was not excellent. Battery life is still not excellent. But now you have way more utility. So for example, just as an example, one of the things that it's available now easily is WhatsApp. So let me see. I can show you something here. So now WhatsApp has a watch app that is automatically syncing with the device, and you're able to browse and reply without any issues, which I think is a huge change, because a lot of people were like, well, I need something that has WhatsApp, yada, yada, yada. So it's like, well, you can't use the Apple Watch because there's no official WhatsApp interaction. But now there is, as you see right there. My wife sent me a request for a list of items, and you're going to be able to see them right there. Boom, no issues. I got this case that also has a charger because the battery life is still atrocious without the phone around. There is an app that you can do text messages, all of that good stuff without any issues. There is an app that allows you to do transit and maps, or transit mainly, without the phone around, called Momigo. And that tells you what's around without, having to like figure it out, like, okay, what's the next line? You're going to be able to see like, okay, this is the bus that's next to me, yada, yada, yada. So that's excellent as well. You're going to be able to do the LTE version without many issues. You can play podcasts without having to have the phone around. So there's a standalone app. This one was present 2 years or 3 years ago when I did this review. There is sports alerts for those of you that care about that. So if you want to look at the latest NBA scores, there it is, the games coming tonight, and you're going to be able to see them. So there have been major, major improvements in this department from Apple and from the community of developers. So I think if you're ready, let's say this, if you already have an Apple Watch and you are committed to the Mac world, the iPhone world, I think it's totally doable. They also have this, this is not with the charger. I highly recommend that you get a charger one. But if you don't want to get a charger, there's like these people on Etsy, which is kind of like a marketplace for like crafts and arts, that make this phone looking case, as you see right here. So, come on. There it is. So there you go. You can use it as a phone, as you see right there. Nice, right? Like, hey, I'm using it as a phone, and you can press, navigate, and it looks like a little mini phone right there. There you go. So I recommend you take a look into that. It's exciting to see how it all works out. I'm going to continue testing this setup, and hopefully it works out well. But I mean, we'll see. I don't know, So we'll see how it works out. Okay. Hebs says, what are your thoughts on the upcoming Dumber Mini? Good question. Yeah, good question right here. So Dumber Mini. So the folks at what used to be known as Dumdroid, now known as Dumber Mini and Dumber OS, have created or have partnered with an ODM and have the device automatically coming in. I have the software, which is here on the Xiaomi Chin F21 Pro, and I think they're doing a very, very amazing job. They have a video that you can go and check it out. You also have constant updates. As you see, they have a constant OTA update. They updated TT9 organic maps, added more steps, fixed compatibility. This is a team that is truly behind their product, and I'm really excited about what they're doing with the product, what they're doing with the community, listening, implementing features that make sense, etc., etc. If you're in Europe, Highly recommend that you get it pre-ordered now. If you're in the United States, they eventually will release a United States model, so stay tuned for that. And I hope that one is successful. I'll be covering it for sure. We're getting to a point of, and I'll close with this, we're getting to a point of stability in the Dumbphone market where now it's about the companies that are going to be staying up to what the customer wants. What kind of experience do you want? We are, I think, getting beyond the growing pains of how many companies can compete in this market, right? And I think at this point we have a very clear distinction between hybrid phones. I'm like, okay, you can have a hybrid phone and you either want a flip phone or you want a candy bar device. And then you have this is a minimal device, lifestyle change kind of device. This is what's going to take. And then you have maybe another segment with like kids. These are the kid devices, etc., etc. So super interesting, very, very important to see how it all works out. But I'm really glad to see this stabilizing and, everything being figured out. That's all I have for today. I'm really excited to showcase to you some projects that I'll have in the future. And again, if you have any questions, comments, make sure to put it in the comments below. I'll be interacting with you guys. Really excited to see how this all works out, how it, creates kind of like a completely different experience, market, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, super excited about what's going to happen, and hope you stay tuned. So if you have any questions, again, comments, I'll interact. I'll try to do as much research. If you're not subscribed to the newsletter, I put my thoughts there on kind of like adjacent topics to the Moving Offline newsletter. So if you haven't checked out the newsletter, I do interviews there, the podcast. I do more articles, thinking large term, short term. There's some of these different things. Currently, I'm working on a article about dementia clinics. So there is a lot of research springing up about smartphone dementia clinics, smartphone rehabilitation centers. I think these are going to grow in popularity over time as AI, as phones, as all of these things continue to expand. We may need more rehabilitation services for technology addiction. So I'll be talking about that soon, showing a little bit of data, what the research is showcasing. Even from 2007, we knew this was a problem. But now we know there something has to be done. So